I think this is the article. I'm running out of free articles. Oh no. I'll have to open a new incognito tab. Window. Slant, he said? Oh dear. Deary me. Alright, we're definitely reading that. Game of Thrones prequel struggles to apply the new makeup to the old face of palace intrigue. Okay. The only thing that could tear down the House of the Dragon was itself. They're going to use that to... Yeah, okay. I don't care about you explaining the history. I know that. Paints House of the Dragon into a corner given the threadbare nature of the plotting and especially the writing. Ravenous fans of Game of Thrones may be pleased at first, but it quickly becomes clear... Oh no, that's me. But it quickly becomes clear that despite drawing from several of Martin's short stories... Huh? The source material is as slight as Tolkien's appendices, with studios left to either fill in the blanks or hope that Does this guy know what he's talking about? What? Hope that fandoms won't mind the ones that remain. As any maester might tell you, history alone doesn't forecast disaster. House of the Dragon might still have been a good show. This in future seasons may in fact hatch dragon-like into one. Oh, clever. Dragons hatch from eggs. Ah, clever. But its current incarnation is a colossal bore. No, I wasn't bored at all while watching. In fact, I was so excited. I was thinking about too many things that I actually had to rewind a few bits in the... when I was initially watching it. Ryan Condal is smart to center the Taylor run. That's not a very... Like, that's such an obvious decision. And her best friend, Alison Hightower, understanding that a prequel to Game of Thrones must be about ruin that comes from following the sexist customs of male-led succession. That is what I was saying, yes. Sadly, though, the House of the Dragon's commitment to that thread holds us at a frustrating remove from the emotions of its characters, especially its female ones. So because it's about gendered politics in relation to succession, it divorces itself from the emotions of its female characters? Huh? Huh? The series never dwells on the impact of Rhaenyra being told by her mother that childhood is our battlefield. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. The story never dwells on the impact of Rhaenyra being told that the childbed is the woman's battlefield. Guys, did you know that Rhaenyra... Oh, wow. Rhaenyra doesn't respond at all to being told that the childbed is the woman's battlefield. Yeah, no, Rhaenyra, nothing to do... Oh my god. Holy shit. That's just... This is so verbose and, like, expanded upon, but, like, when you think about what this is... You don't know anything. Have you read the thing? Do you know anything about Rhaenyra? What do you want? Pablo, has Gladys said anything about more piss take videos? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I'm going to finish season 6 at some point, probably after House of the Dragon. What do you want? And also, yeah, there's just a mum and her daughter talking to each other. Did you want her to soliloquize? Step away from her mum, turn towards the camera and say, "This has impacted me so." Instead, it squanders much screen time on the splashier, more superficially exciting events that are of no real consequence, like the clashes from the big jousting tournament Viserys has held and expected. What? That time wasn't squandered. That was world building. That was character building. That was interlaced with another explosive moment. What the fuck? It was there to parallel the male battlefield and the female battlefield. That is so obvious. Holy shit. Oh my god. This guy's a critic. The case could be made that the amount of time devoted to watching Emma give birth by cesarean section at the show's ways of demonstrating that the battlefield that women are made to fight upon in this world sans allies and without a say in their fate. But it misses the mark by not showing Rhaenyra coming to that realization herself. They didn't show Rhaenyra coming to that realization herself. They didn't show Rhaenyra reflecting on how... Guys... Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh my god. Did you not see this scene? No, don't make fun of him. This is hilarious. Oh my god. Oh. Not showing Rhaenyra coming to that realization herself. The realization that the battlefield women are made to fight upon in this world. Oh my god. Oh. I haven't laughed that much at reading someone's words in a long time. Oh my god. I'm sorry if this somehow finds its way to you and you're hurt by my laughter, but that's really funny. It's really funny that you said that. Okay. Yeah, I understand that the industry, like, you need to shit these articles out, but, I don't know, it's your job. You could pay attention to the scenes in the show. Given that she ends up hooking up with the knight... No, that's a spoiler! No! Was she traumatized at all by this loss? Was Rhaenyra traumatized at all by this loss? Was Rhaenyra Targaryen at all affected by her mother's death? Oh, dude. Oh. Holy shit. Yeah, thanks for recommending this one. That's so good. Elsewhere, we only get the briefest glimpse into the mind of Alicent after she's ordered by her father Otto, who's also the King's Hand, to offer herself as comfort to the widowed and still sonless Viserys. Briefest glimpse into the mindset. She is characterized so well and so subtly in this episode. It's actually mind-blowing. I think it's done with probably more grace than... Oh... Yeah, no, it's so subtle. It's so well done. It's so tactful, the way that they portray who Alicent is in this first episode. I'm trying to think of a character in Game of Thrones who's done like that. I don't know, Cersei maybe in the first episode? Viserys? That's not really comparable though. Arya, maybe? I don't know. This is an L take. This is a -7 out of 10 take. Surely the dramatic moment at which Alicent realizes that she'll be her best friend's stepmother and spoilers! And where Rhaenyra learns that her road to succession will be challenged by any male heirs produced by Alicent is worth capturing in a scene. I mean, I think it's kind of cool that you're shown relationships develop. You don't need to see every pivotal moment. You can just see how the things going on in the world have affected their relationship in the way they act towards each other over time. Instead, House of the Dragon jumps 3 years forward as if looking again for... So this article does not care about the spoilers either. Looking again for something more visually stimulating to feast upon, like the sight of Rhaenyra's uncle warring with a man who crucifies the soldiers on beaches that are infested with flesh-eating crabs. So we are seeing that. Cool. Spectacle over substance is so often chosen that you might think that the book being adapted was simply called Blood rather than Fire and Blood. That's a cool line, by the way. No, shut up. I've only seen the first episode. This guy's got 5 episodes on me. This guy got to see the first 6 episodes before I did. There is no God. Life is cruel. House of the Dragon certainly struggles to apply new makeup to the old face of palace intrigue. Throughout, characters shift their allegiances like clockwork across haphazardly patched together scenes, acting on events that the audience may only have caught glimpses of in passing. Acting on events the audience may only have caught glimpses of in passing. Acting on... may have only caught glimpses of in passing. Are you saying that you missed the context for something? Is that what you're saying? You can just say that, man. It's okay. Take Kristen Kroll. Spoilers! I probably shouldn't read all that. Doesn't help that House of the Dragon tends to cut away from a scene immediately after something of great import has occurred. Are you fucking serious? Leaving us to wonder how a character might have reacted in the moments. Oh, I see what's happening here. So this guy really liked how in Game of Thrones, the showrunners insisted on close-ups of actors reacting to every little thing. He really liked that. He liked that the camera zoomed in on Sansa's acting face after everything happened, after anything happened. This guy really liked when the camera just, like, sat on Cersei's face for a little bit, you know? You know, that was his favorite part of the show. He didn't like it when, you know, more things just happened. Oh my god. If you think for 4 episodes that the series simply doesn't care about its characters, it all but confirms the suspicion by jumping forward 10 years midway through the season, recasting its main characters in the process. My guy... Okay, I can't comment on that. I haven't seen it, but... Why should recasting them matter? Why should that matter? That's not a criticism. You're just saying that you think the show doesn't care because it jumps forward in time? Even if I hated this first episode, I still think that this was laughable. And if the childhood years had built up meaningful relationships and character work, they might be worth it. Instead, they seem cobbled together from a list of the most violent events in Martin's repertoire, as if that were what was best about Game of Thrones. Or as if, in somehow one-upping them, House of the Dragon might stand out. Characters be damned. I can't really comment on that, but this if is there to say that the childhood years haven't built up meaningful relationships. I already believe in Rhaenyra and Daemon's relationship. I already believe in Rhaenyra and Alicent's relationship. So I don't know. It's only been 1 episode. The series can't stop rushing ahead, even after making that 10-year leap, leaving us asking new fundamental questions about the characters. Is there now actual chemistry between an aged and visibly ill... Okay, I have to stop reading this because, you know, I know it happens, but I don't want to, like, know when it happens in the show, you know? Because it's clear to me that they're moving things around. This is a hilarious article. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. L. Comments. You have comments? Bad take, who the fuck are you? Who is this guy who claims to have seen the first couple episodes? Man. Chad behavior, honestly. Writes article about show they don't watch, spoils it, leaves without explanation. Good job. All right, Rolling Stone. What does Rolling Stone think? Game of Thrones minus the fire. The highly anticipated prequel supplies all the palace intrigue of its parent series with none of the wit or energy. Okay. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying it's flat, and do I get what they're saying? No. No, I don't get it. Maybe it's rose-tinted glasses, but I really enjoyed the council scenes. I thought they were great introductions to those characters. I don't know. Yeah, even Rhaenyra and Harold Wesseling. Harold Wesseling's name wasn't even said in this episode. He appeared in 2 scenes and said like 3 lines. And you already like kind of, you get it. You get what's going on there. Are these the same places that put season 7 and 8 episodes in their top 10s? I don't know. Let's find out. Rolling Stone, Slate, Game of Thrones, top 10. Let's find out. Ooh. We might be onto something. Let's just see what they've got here. The new Game of Thrones. Who's the worst person in the new Game of Thrones? Oh, jeez. Wait, what? That's another cringe. This is a different article? Oh, no. There's another one. Were we too... Oh, my God. Holy shit. I have to read these. And that's all before... Okay, I just want to... What's their top 10 battles? I'm just going to guess number 1 is Battle of the Bastards. Number 2 is the Spoils of War. Number 3 is the Long Night. That's what I think their top 3 will be. It'll be Long Night, Spoils of War, Battle of the Bastards. Number 10, Battle of the Whispering Wood. I don't even know why people count this. Greyjoys in... I hate this one. The one in Stormborn. Sucks. The Siege of Meereen. Yeah, no, so the Greyjoy battle in Stormborn is better than the Siege of Meereen. At least he hasn't put Watchers on the Wall below this. Danny's Guards versus Son of the Harpy? Oh my god. No. Oh yeah, Hardhome will probably be number 1. True. Number 6. Beyond the Wall. Okay. Wait, so... I just saw that 5 is Watchers on the Wall. So 4 is Blackwater. 3... But there's only 3 left. So we need Hardhome, Battle of the Bastards, and the Long Night. Is the Spoils of War not on here? So Watchers on the Wall. Does he not have Blackwater in here? Oh, this is in 2017. The Long Night doesn't exist yet. Watchers on the Wall. Take. This is the best battle. Spoils of War is number 4. I'm gonna guess Blackwater, Hardhome, Battle of the Bastards. Blackwater? Yep. Battle of the Bastards 2nd. Okay, fair enough. And Hardhome. Look, you put Watchers at 5th, so no, but I mean, I've seen worse takes. That wasn't a top 10 episodes. I wanted to find their top 10 episodes. I don't think they have one. Nah, they don't. Ooh, Forbes might have a good one though. All right, let's finish. Let's do the Rolling Stone article. This is fun. I knew this would be fun. Did I miss any super chats, by the way? I should have a look before I move on. No, I have not. Very good. All right, we'll read these and then I have to go. Like I have other shit to do with my day. And it's a pretty bad time for streaming, honestly. 3 p.m. my time. Great for me, horrible for you. Because I assume like it's getting late even on the West Coast, and Europe it's like the middle of the night. Okay. Massive sprawl of Game of Thrones could be a blessing and curse. The HBO fantasy epic had a seemingly bottomless and varied well of colourful characters and places from which to draw stories and to keep the audience from growing tired with of any one corner of its fictional world. But in striving for such breadth, Game of Thrones at times struggled with depth. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they really went for breadth in the later seasons. They struggled with both. Installments of the series could feel less like TV episodes than hasty guided tours of the Seven Kingdoms. And then they make a reference to season 3? What? No. This is a garbage take. On the that's so dumb. On the rare occasions where an hour stayed entirely within one group, like Jaime's brother Tyrion. You know, Jaime's brother Tyrion. Oh, now I know who you mean. Oh, right. Jaime's brother, mustering the defenses of King's Landing. Hey, Blackwater. You're calling out Blackwater. The narrative focus was so potent, it was hard not to wish for more of that. Completely agree, or to wonder what the show could be if it didn't have to service dozens of characters and subplots. Disagree. HBO's new prequel series House of the Dragon offers one version of what that would look like. The series takes place predominantly in and around the walls of the castle known as the Red Keep, with all of the significant figures either being members of the royal Targaryen family or people in their employ. While there are still many characters, all of them are in some way directly tied to the question of who will succeed Viserys as ruler of Westeros. And that sounds to me like a really focused premise, right? If all of the characters are in some way directly tied to like the main premise of the show. The main premise of House of the Dragon is succession, right? That's the plot of the show, right? Oh yeah, Jenna's nephew, Tyrion. Now I get it. You know, Tysha's husband. Oh yeah, Tyrion. Okay, but the spin-off, I need to drink some water. I'm getting a bit lightheaded. Almost like every character in Game of Thrones was tied to the Game of Thrones or the Wall. Yeah, so Game of Thrones had like 2 concurrent main overarching plots. But, you know, there were some characters who, you know, it was a bit oblique, their connection to either of those plots. Like, I don't know, Brienne. Brienne wasn't directly tied to the Game of Thrones, right? She was kind of just doing her own thing. She was, you know, employed by people who were tied to the game, but that's really it. And then she tagged along for the battle for the wall, like the wall, the North, the White Walkers, whatever. The spin-off unfortunately proves a poor test case for the less is more theory when it comes to adaptations of Gurm's books. A more streamlined show built around the character as rich as Tyrion or Arya Stark could perhaps work smashingly. I 100% disagree with this. I think this is a horrible, horrible thing to say. No, it's not like, how dare you? Although, like, you know, I could see a mini-series of Arya's Adventures in Braavos, like, book Arya's Adventures in Braavos, or, one I see thrown around a lot is Dunk and Egg. Something like that works. But, you know, that's adventure. Brienne in the Riverlands. Jon north of the Wall. Buddy cop sitcom with Tormund. Going around solving crimes north of the Wall. Hell yeah. But no, the ensemble cast. How can you do something like this without an ensemble cast? House of the Dragon, unfortunately, is filled with characters. Too many characters and conflicts that would struggle to hold the audience's attention if there were just one small element among the many of its parent series. Well, it's not. It's not, though. It's the whole show. That's the whole show. Oh, I see. As the only subjects, they're almost uniformly dull, preventing House of the Dragon from justifying its existence as anything other than a calculated piece of brand extension for the newly merged Warner Bros. Discovery. No. I didn't find any of the main characters dull. I mean, Corlys, who I assume is a main character, he didn't have much to do in this first episode, but he didn't come off to me as dull. It was just like, ooh, I want to see more from that guy. So, no, I don't think they're dull. In fact, I said this before, Otto Hightower said one line in his first scene, and I was like, ooh, I want to know, I want to see more of this guy. And he's a comic actor. He's so good. The series takes place roughly 2 centuries. I know, this is just context. Yeah. So I noticed that in the Council of 101 scene, that opens the show, it's basically explained, hey, Rhaenys is the oldest of the family after Old King Joe, and Viserys is the oldest male of the family. And I kind of get why they do that, because, like, explaining the primogeniture thing of, hey, Rhaenys is the daughter of the first son, and Viserys is the son of the second son. It's a little much for narration to explain. Like, imagine if Rhaenyra in that scene was like, yeah, Rhaenys had a claim because her dad, Aemon, was the heir, but he died. And then Viserys also has a claim because his dad, Balon, was the heir, and he died. You know, it's like, that's a bit much. I can see why they boiled it down like that. It's not entirely true, though. This is just context. Will the brave and inquisitive Rhaenyra get to that asterisk there is pointing to here, where it says, yes, this is the show featuring prominent characters named both Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. I don't have a problem with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys. They're different names. They're quite different. Rhaenyra, Rhaenys. Like, how are you going to confuse the era and the Ys? It's quite obvious. Martin's names are exasperating under the best of circumstances, but building up a show entirely around the Targaryens, I don't know. Like, it's like you just have to know, and then it's easy. Just know who they are. Like, did you have a problem with I know, Robert and Renly? Did you have a problem with Rob and Rickon? Rob, Robert, Robin? Huh? Is that a problem for you? No, shut up. Not only with these spellings, he's complaining about the spelling. Oh my god. Hang on. Yeah. Just wanted to check, assume gender. But with so many characters having names that are indistinguishable from their siblings or cousins. Indistinguishable? Use your ears! Often making it impossible to figure out who's being discussed in a given scene. Are there no other context clues? Oh my god. Wow. It also forces far too many actors to wear blonde wigs of various degrees of plausibility. Okay, like, I can wear this. With Paddy Considine's looking particularly... No, Paddy Considine's looks fine. For most of its run, Got only had to wig up Emilia Clarke and was better for it. True, but I never pointed this out. When Sophie Turner starts wearing a wig at the start of season 7, it looks so much worse. Does anyone else pick up on this? So throughout the first 6 seasons, I'm pretty sure that's just her hair and they just dyed it. And, like, thanks, Sophie, for doing that for us. And then in season 7, she was like, fuck that, I need to do X-Men things. And she started wearing the wig, and it looked so much worse. Does anyone else think that? I think that. All right, I didn't finish reading this paragraph. Will Rhaenyra get to inherit the kingdom that should be rightfully hers? Will she be forced to marry into a powerful family to... Sorry, to work around the institutionalized misogyny of the era? Might Daemon scheme his way to this... Okay, this is just all, like, laying the groundwork. Palace intrigue and questions of succession and legitimacy were, of course, a huge part of Game of Thrones, but far from the only part. They were only sometimes even close to the most fun part, given a stretch of that series. Of a given stretch of that series. Questions of succession were only ever sometimes close to the most fun part. Are you... Oh my god. Season 1 revolves around succession. Season 1 of Game of Thrones is entirely about Robert's succession. What the... Oh my god. And it's great. It's wonderful. Brienne and Bran are the same person. Yeah, how can we be expected to keep track of all these names? Building a whole show around this subject and filling it with a gang of mostly dour Targaryens gives the whole project the air of the Star Wars prequels, which I see what he's saying here. That it's like taking one element of the previous thing and blowing it up into the main element of this thing, that being the Jedi, right? The Jedi in Star Wars originally are just like this. They're not even an institution. They're a dead institution. They don't exist anymore. And then in the prequels, it's like, oh, they're everywhere. Like, the Jedi are just the thing. And that's what's happened with the Targaryens here. So I get what he's saying there. I disagree with the comparison. That they're mostly dour. Oh, he goes on to explain that. Damn it. Without also making room for the humanity and humor of a Han Solo type. What do you... I don't know, people think Ewan McGregor is funny. Game of Thrones had a rueful sense of humor to go along with its violence and mind games, and highly quotable characters like... Oh my god. Oh. So bad because I can't quote the Wine Dwarf. Holy shit. None of that wit or energy is present here. Rhaenyra struggled to assert herself in a world that would prefer she be a docile baby factory or wishes her dead. To simplify matters, is the series' one semi-compelling arc. That's funny because the Slate article said the exact opposite. Millie Alcock is very strong in the early episodes, as is Emma Darcy once they take over with the role following a mid-season time jump. But the frequent leaps forward in the plot keep undermining the attempt by the showrunners to build both character and conflict. Every time House of the Dragons starts to get even the most precarious emotional foothold, we are suddenly years in the future and the impact diminishes. Precarious emotional foothold? I've only seen the first episode, and like... No, what? Dude. Impact diminishes. I don't even know what this is getting at. I'm already emotionally invested in Viserys. I thought the framing of the last scene was like really impactful for Rhaenyra as well. Oh my god. Nearly everyone around the princess is boring, meanwhile. Viserys is by design a weak and uninspiring king, which is how a very skilled actor like Considine plays the role. See, this is so weird. Why did the Slate article say that he was the worst? What the fuck? But there's just so much of him. The show attempts to treat his innate unsuitability to the job as an intriguing, dramatic subject of his own. I can see how that might happen. Mostly, though, Viserys' poor decisions, particularly when it comes to addressing the obvious threat of his brother poses to both himself and Rhaenyra, play more as a plot device to keep various middling stories in play. Matt Smith is the biggest name in the cast, and Daemon is meant to be a charismatic and dangerous wildcard at the center of all the action. But while Smith remains a very striking camera subject, a bit too much of his performance as Prince Philip from The Crown creeps in here. He plays Damon more as a petulant, overgrown child than the nearly mythical warrior the show wants to present him as. I got both sides of that from the first episode. And most of the supporting players, say Reese Ifans as Otto Hightower, and their motivations are introduced poorly at best? Huh? The character who benefits most from the big time jump is Alicent. Played as a teenager by Emily Carey, she's mostly a blank slate. Who are people... Where are people getting this? Did they watch the first episode? Like the monarch that her father works for exists mainly to serve the needs of the plot. When Olivia Cooke steps into the role in the 6th episode, this added... Okay. So, Alicent's pedestrian in the first 5 episodes until the time jump, and then she becomes more of a thing. Okay. Oh, yeah, I wonder if this guy's a fan of Big Cock from Euron in the show. Sapochnik, one of the Game of Thrones best directors. True. People misconstrue my criticisms of Game of Thrones to, like... I'm talking about the writing. Sapochnik is a master. He's very good. Where Game of Thrones saved its big dragon moments for later, more expensive series, House of the Dragon gives you House Targaryen's mighty pets early and often. Much of this, like a confrontation between 2 armies on a high stone bridge, as Dragon saw it. Oh, that sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. We saw that in the trailer. It looks so cool as well. Other parts, though, are fairly stage-bound. And some of the bigger set pieces don't quite work, like an allegedly triumphant battle sequence where proper effort isn't put in to establish the geography of how the winning side achieves its victory. That might be a legitimate complaint. I don't know. You'll hear from me when I see it. He was also behind the camera for the impenetrable darkness of the long night. True, but I do wonder, like, how much of that was Sapochnik's doing. Oh, talking about the prophecy scene. Events that we saw play out in Game of Thrones. It's meant as an attempt to link the 2 series beyond all familiar names that are thrown at the viewers at an often wearying speed. All the familiar names thrown at the viewers? Do you mean the house names like Baratheon and Stark? But nostalgia for Game of Thrones does not seem particularly high right now, 3 years after a tedious finale that nobody liked. I can assure you, some people liked it. They are in my YouTube comments, and they're very funny. More importantly, though, because we know exactly how these things played out the night... This is true. We know that nothing that happens on the show will matter in the slightest when humanity has to save itself from extinction. I think they might be able to swing it into something interesting, but I mostly agree with this. All that stuff is inevitable and largely unrelated to what everyone is fighting about here. Yes, I agree that... yeah, I agree with this. Yes. Early episodes put the kingdom into conflict, but spoilers, like the Night King, the Crab Feeder is a triumph of design over drama, with a cool and disgusting look that only somewhat obscures that he has no discernible motivation beyond liking murder. We'll see about that. That could be true. Alright, we'll move on. I can't wait to read that. I don't want to do that, so I won't. Dude, I disabled it, don't worry. Game of Thrones prequels suggest HBO didn't learn a thing from how it ended. If you thought the original got too grim and misogynistic, wait till you see how this is gonna be a hell of a take. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Hey, remember Game of Thrones? 20 million people, that is quite the low estimate. May 2019 feels like a lifetime ago. True, not just because of the time distortion field. Yep, in the lead up to the series, the last show we'll watch together. Not really. Stop telling me about culture. I just want to read about your shitty House of the Dragon take. HBO and this newly conglomerated, I don't care. A development process almost as contentious and bloody as the Red Wedding. I haven't heard anything about that. Was this thing in development hell? I haven't heard about that. Seemed pretty normal to me. In the long march to extend the network's most valuable piece of intellectual property, there were many bodies left by the side of the road. Half a dozen projects, true, remain in various stages of the project, and more than $30 million was spent on the pilot for a Naomi Watts starring prequel title. Just moving on. It's an approach designed to use C-suite overlords at ease. What? The trouble being that it deprives House of the Dragon... Do I need to... No. Deprives House of the Dragon of an element crucial to its predecessor's success. Surprise. If Game of Thrones went from solid genre hit to iconic cultural object the moment Ned Stark's head fell from his shoulders, Dragons begins in a fictional universe where betrayal is expected at every turn, and only the terminally pure-hearted or simply naive would be caught off guard. Yeah? Heads are cut off, sure, as are arms, legs, and torsos. But the Targaryen is corrupted from the start. The Targaryen, my favorite character. The weak King Viserys rules feebly with one hand while the other is rotting away, plagued by an... Oh, I don't want to hear about that. Do I need to... Oh, maggots. Sapochnik... spawned an internet rage cycle last month when he told the interviewer that he would not shy away from depicting violence against women, which quickly grew into the accusation that would feature graphic depictions of sexual assault. That turns out to not be true, but the thing we assumed he meant turned out to not be true. But the series does exist in a world where the mere act of being a woman, particularly a married woman of childbearing age, is inherently violent. True? Thrones was so often concerned with death in its more spectacular forms, but Emma reminds him that its mundane incarnations are no less devastating. Is this criticism or not? Are you just telling me what happens? Emma has buried 5 children in the effort to... This is just details from the episode. She tells young Alicent, the daughter of her husband's closest advisor, that the discomfort of pregnancy is how we serve the realm. The childbed is our battlefield. The episode realizes that the last sentiment with brutal literalism when it intercuts a bloody jousting... At least this person understood that. When it intercuts a bloody jousting tournament with a medieval C-section, the latter forced on an unwilling woman who knows the procedure is certain to mean her death. And when it comes time to introduce the adult version of Rhaenyra, it's through a long shot of her grimacing face as she powers... spoilers. In an attempt to calm the uproar over Sapochnik's comments, House of the Dragon executive producers the violence against women that is inherent in a patriarchal system. The show's aim was to focus on that, okay? But there's so much violence in the show that it ceases to convey much of anything beyond the idea that this is a brutal and ugly world. There's too much other violence that the points about the violence against women are lost. Is that what this is saying? Okay. It's not enough to tell us the notorious... Get on with it. In other words, House of the Dragon's response to the backlash that greeted Game of Thrones' final season seems to have been somewhat inexplicably to double down. Huh? Some of that negative response might have been from people who enjoyed the show without really paying attention to what they were watching. If you named your daughter Daenerys, that's on you. True. But at least some of it had to do with a turn towards grim determinism, with the characters behaving in atrocious ways, mainly because the plot required them to. Yeah. Martin's readers... Very little of his planet. So instead of starting with noble characters whose intentions are slowly bent towards the unspeakable, is that really what happened in Game of Thrones? Is that really what you think happened in Game of Thrones? That happened with probably one character. That happened with Daenerys. Like, Jon a little bit, but no one ever talks about how killing Ollie was really fucked up. Tyrion was supposed to be that, but he wasn't. No, that just wasn't really the story of Game of Thrones. Jaime was the complete opposite of that. Cersei was already fucked up. Ned refused to become ignoble. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's talking about. The new series begins with them terrible and evidently expects people to stick around to find out just how much. So from just the first episode, you know that, like, Daemon is fucked up. Hi, future Glimbo here. Viserys also commits what you could say is an atrocity. Otto's clearly fucked up. But characters like Alicent seem super duper innocent. So does Rhaenyra. She doesn't really do anything in the first episode, aside from, B. Kristen's just a cool knight in the first episode. I don't know, man, like... Yeah, they're so terrible. It's been 11 years since Game of Thrones premieres and 26 since the original novel. House of the Dragon said in the past, the show exists in the present in a world where seemingly appearing on HBO at 9 p.m. on Sunday nights isn't enough to command an audience's attention. When was this published? A couple days ago. What the How do you know that? If all you want was more Game of Thrones, then House of the Dragon might well be the show that was promised. But if you're looking for a show that is to the current TV landscape what Game of Thrones was, well, there's a long winter ahead. That might be true. House of the Dragon might not be, suited to take over the world currently. But, I don't need it to. Maybe some other time I'll do, like a... Yeah, I disabled my ad blocker. I told you I disabled it. Fine. Jesus Christ. I'll let you run ads. Holy shit. Get off my screen. Oh my god. I hate this. I hate all news websites. Okay. Forbes. The 10 best episodes in Game of Thrones. So this is kind of... Oh, hang on. According to IMDb ratings. Oh, that's boring. I wanted someone's cringe opinion. Not what I already know is true from IMDb. Ah, that's boring. Blackwater. Laws of Gods and Men. Mountain of Viper. See, these episodes, they have great bits, but they're not, like, fantastic end to end. This one's fucking great. This one is, like, just really fucking good end to end. The Door... You have to be fucking kidding me, honestly. IMDb ratings are so geared toward recency bias, especially like when Game of Thrones was airing. Spoils of War, again, fuck me. Jesus Christ. The Spoils of War. Okay. I want to pose a question to anyone who thinks that The Spoils of War is a fantastic episode. What else happens in The Spoils of War? Huh? What else happens? What else happens in The Door? The Reigns of Castamere is an exceptional episode end to end. What else happens in Hardhome? Okay, some people would be able to tell me what happens in every scene of The Winds of Winter. That is true. Some people would be able to do that. It is better than those other episodes. Maybe not Hardhome. Probably not Hardhome. Hardhome is season 5, episode 8. This is wrong. There's an error on a Forbes article. What's number 1 if The Winds of Winter is number 2? I doubt it's going to be Baelor. It's not going to be Watchers. It's not going to be the Bells or the Iron Throne or anything like that. Is it? It's Battle of the Bastards. It's got to be Battle of the Bastards. Yeah. I am a little surprised that this is taking the number 1 spot, but it is one of the most epic battles of the series. Beautifully, horribly choreographed, and of course it ends with the death of arguably the show's most horrible villain, Ramsay Bolton, as Sansa feeds him to his own dogs. That makes it good. It being the death of Ramsay, that's what makes it good. It wouldn't be good unless it had that in it. What else happens in Battle of the Bastards? Huh? There's a shot, there's a really cool shot where it follows the arrow, the thing they copied from Watchers on the Wall, And then there's the shot with the corpse pile. Oh, that's so cool. And then the riding of the cavalry that they just lifted from Helm's Deep. And then and then Sansa, oh yeah. John showing down the showdown between John and Ramsay. Oh, it's so good. They have so much tension between the two of them. IMDb. 160,000 votes to get it to 9.9. Battle of the Bastards is the sixth best episode on. No, not even. It might. Battle of the Bastards is one of the worst episodes on this list. Oh man. Okay, so the rain's starting to pick up. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Rhaenyra is still there. I should probably go because I've got other shit to do with my day.